Krishna. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gna Gna Shalakaya Kshurumritamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Satmena Bhuttale Saurapakadamaham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shiguru Shutapadakam Valam Shignu Vishnivam Shcha Shirupma Sagarshna Sagna Raghunathan Vitamtam Sajivam с двата абсолютно Парижна, с Хитам Кришна Читания Девам, Ширада Кришна Падан, Саганалита Шивишакан Витам Шча, Хе Кришна Каруна Синду, Динабанду Джгатпате, Упеша Гопика Канта, Рада Канта Намостуте, Тапта Канчна Горанги, Раде Вриндаванешвари, Вриша Пана Суте Деви, Парнамами Хари Прие. So I will now try to think the Pranam mantra of His Divine Grace by Charnaravrinda Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, then of his Diksha Guru Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura Prabhupada, then of the Pranam mantra, which is actually it is a verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Panchatattva mantra, which glorifies Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his eternal associates in Gaura Lila, and then I will try to sing some Maha mantra. And then Jairada Madhava. From Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura, the father of the Diksha Guru of our Prabhupada. Okay, now. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavad Paskatyadishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Willst du das willst du oder nicht? Oder? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Janava, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Shodananda, Jaya Braja Janaranjana, Jaya Yamuna Tira, Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Janava, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Sodananda, Jaya Braja Janaranjana, Jaya Yamuna Tira, Vanachari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now I will again continue. Now I will continue with the Bhagavad Gita, which is, well, the verses are not there. There are not all the verses of Bhagavad Gita, but some verses are selected from Maharaj, and they represent very nicely Bhagavad Gita. Of course, every verse of Bhagavad Gita is important, no doubt, but just not to uh, not to lose so much time. That's why one can also select the most important ones, which represent the mood and the ideas of Bhagavad Gita. Now we have, I have reached chapter 13. So the first selected verse from chapter 13 is verse 3. Verse 3, chapter 13, Bhagavat-Gita. Kshetragya kapima vidi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetrajna yata jnana Mahatma. Translation: O son of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. So, you should understand that I am also the knower of all bodies, says Krishna, and to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. Then the next selected verses are verse 8 to verse 12 um, from chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Amanitva mambitva ahimsak shantirajava acharya pasanam shaucham shairamatma vinigraha hirarteshu vairagya Anahankaraivacha Yanmamrityu Jaravyadi Dukkhadoshano Darshana Asaktira Vipasanga Putradara Rihodishu Nidyancha Sama Chitatva Ishtanisha Papatisha Maichanyana Yogena Bhaktiravya Vichari Vivikta Desha Sevitva Aratirjana Sansara Adhyatma Jnana Nityatva Tattva Janartha Darshana Etat Jnana Iti Prokta Ajnana Yadato Jnata. Translation: Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the object of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with the children, um, um, wife or husband, home, and the rest, even mindedness, even mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, philosophical search of the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, And besides this, whatever there may be is ignorance. Okay, let us see what is written further. Yes. The next selected verse is 13:20. Verse 20, uh, chapter 13.
प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव विद्यानादिउपवम् विकारं च गुणश्चैव विधि प्रकृतिः सम्भवम्.
Translation. Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. Okay, the next two selected verses are 21 and 22 from chapter 13 of Bhagavat-Gita.
Kariya karana kartrivehetu prakriti uchyate purusha sukha dukkana prakriti ruchyate purusha prakriti Punkte prakriti janguna karana guna sangosya sata satyoniyanmasu.
Translation. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his or her association with that material nature. Thus, the living entity meets with good and evil among various species. So, the next two selected verses from chapter 13 are 23 and 33. Okay, first 23.
Upadraštano mantača verte bhokta maheshvara paramatmeti kapyukto dehesmin purusha parama.
Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. And verse 33 of chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita.
Yata sarva gatam saukshmyatakasham nopalipyate sarvadrastito de tatatma nopalipyate.
The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all-pervading. Similarly, the soul, situated in Brahman vision, does not mix with the body, though situated in that body. Okay, so thus the chapter 13 is presented to the end now with these verses, and the next time I will continue with the chapter 14. 14. Yes, okay. So we'll see how nicely it is commented here. Not commented, but it's said, explained from Krishna in his conversation with Arjuna. So there's nothing to be added to this explanation of Sri Krishna. Um, so he just describes the word, the world to Arjuna. Um, so it is absolutely not easy to understand what actually Krishna says to Arjuna. That's why there are many different versions of Bhagavad-Gita, and um, one of the most uh, good ones is, of course, Bhagavad-Gita as it is, from translation and commentary from Srila Prabhupada. But there are also other versions of um, other people has also translated and commented Bhagavad Gita. So it is not easy to understand. Everybody understand it, the words written there in their own way. I cannot judge what way is the right one. So, and I will not judge, but still, of course, Bhagavad Gita cities of Srila Prabhupada with his translation and explanations. Um, this is, of course, one of the most beautiful ones. Yes, this guide on the path. Yes, but one cannot just only with Bhagavad Gita, just only how to say. Uh, well, but Bhagavad Gita is a very nice book, maybe the best book. I don't know, but there are also other books. If one is interested in the spiritual path of Krishna consciousness, of bhakti yoga, then one can read first Bhagavad Gita and try to understand what is written there. Of course, under the guidance of teachers, under the guidance of Diksha Guru and Chiksha Guru, Gurus and Chiksha Gurus, um, or yes, and but in order to try to understand um, what is Bhakti Yoga about in Krishna consciousness, then one needs also to read also other books, and um, of course, that does not mean that Bhagavad Gita is less important than the other books. No, it does not mean that at all. But just to have the whole picture, to have to to have in order to have a better picture of that, what uh, Bhakti Yoga, what Krishna consciousness is all about. One needs to read also other books. Bhagavat-Gita and other books also. Yes, and yes, because for example, the mood of Bhagavad-Gita, it is it is actually they are on the Krishna and Arjuna and all the other soldiers from the both parties. They are which are enemies in that war in that battle. They are all listening to Krishna, who is explaining these things to Arjuna. They all listen there, and and there the mood is different than the mood of the gopis, for example. The mood of Vrindavan is something totally different from Bhagavad Gita. It is a different mood. Um, that's why um, in order to have more from the picture, from the whole picture of that what is Krishna consciousness, one should also, of course, read also other books, Bhagavad Gita, and also other books. Yes. For example, here in in Sri Shikshastaka, it is explained the mood of in Sri Shikshastaka, in this prayer, which is repeated every day actually. In some temples, it is repeated every day in the morning. So there, in every verse, it is described the mood of a pure devotee who cries in separation from Krishna. There it described this mood, and this mood is different from the mood of Bhagavad Gita, where the situation is a war and Krishna is helping Arjuna to understand that he have to fight. Um, this is his profession. This is what he has to do in that moment. And in Sri Shikshastakam, for example, the mood is totally different. There is the mood of a pure devotee who cries in separation from Krishna. So there is described in every verse is described the mood of um, those persons who are pure devotees. And as we know from the chapter, from verse 10 of Sri Upadeshamrita of Srila Rupa Goswami, the topmost pure devotee is Srimati Radhika. She is the first person, um, the most precious person for Krishna. Krishna loves Srimati Radhika more than everybody else. In this way, Srimati Radhika is the topmost pure devotee. And also, the other pure devotees, the others pure devotees are the gopis of Vrindavan. And also, many other pure devotees exist um, um, like Narada Muni and Srila Prabhupada and many other persons. Um, they are pure devotees also. Their mood is described there, the mood of love to Krishna, of love for Krishna. Um, And this is a mood which is different from the mood of Bhagavad-Gita. So, for example, in verse 6, in Shreya Shikshastaka is said, Nanam Gulata Shudaraya Vadanam Katarudaya Gira Pulakaranchitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishati. Nanam Gulata Shudaraya Vadanam Katarudaya Gira Pulakaranchitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishati. Nanam Gulata Shudaraya Vadanam Katarudaya Gira Pulakaranchitam Vapukada Tavanama Grahane Bhavishati. So he said, O Lord, O my Lord, when it will be that when I chant your holy names, tears will flow from my eyes, all the hairs of my body will stand on end in ecstasy, and my my voice will choke out of ecstasy when I chant your holy names, O Lord, when it will be, when this will be, like that. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in his Srisan Modana Bhasyam that these are the external symptoms of perfection. These symptoms are the external symptoms of a person who loves with the real love. Here especially is described the love of a pure devotee to Krishna. Yes, so we see the mood is totally different as the mood of a war, which is in Bhagavad-Gita. So different situations, they are connected with different mood, and this is totally okay. Just we have to know that not only if one is interested in Krishna consciousness, one cannot just only read Bhagavad Gita. Also, other books are there, and other prayers are also there. Does yes. Okay. What I want to say, yes. As I said, there are many pure devotees. One of them is also Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura Prabhupada, the Diksha Guru of our Prabhupada. And I will continue to read his commentaries on the second verse of Shri Shikshastakam. Yes. Okay, now he's commenting here the words Durdaivam Idirshan Tajanin Nuragha from the second verse of Shri sorry, of Shri Shikshastakam. I will continue to read these commentaries. But we are so unfortunate that we have not even the least attachment for your holy name, which bestows all benedictions. The characteristics of such misfortune have been stated in Hari Bhakti Vilasa 10.466, quoting from Srimad Bhagavatam 397. And now it is citated here. This verse is citated here, and I will try to sing it.
Devinate hatha diyo bhavate prasangat sarva shubhopasha manadvimo kendriyaye kurvanti kama sukhalesha lava dina loba vibhuta manaso Swaha.
O Bhagavan, by hearing, chanting, and remembering narrations of your divine pastimes, all misfortune is driven away. Persons who are averse to such hearing and chanting, which mitigate all distress, continuously engage in inauspicious activities, their hearts being overcome with an obsession to enjoy worthless material sense gratification due to their ill fate. They are unfortunate and bereft of all good sense. Okay, let's hope. Yes, this is not nice. Yes, okay, let's see the next. The next uh, part continues with the verse 3, and I will continue with that the next time. Yes, we see how terribly it is described here. Ill fate, and one is totally unfortunate and no any good sense. This can't happen. One never knows. It's always possible that one begins to be in this way. One never knows. That's why let's again let's again repeat the verse 5 of Manaha Shiksha, of Sri Sri Manaha Shiksha, of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. In order this not to happen, let's hope this will not happen, that we will be in such a condition which was described in this citated verse, which I read some minutes ago. So, so verse 5 of Manaha Shiksha of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Asat kashta prada vikata pashalibiriha. Chasta Shachista kashta prada vikata pashalibiriha. Shachista Shachista kashta prada vikata pashalibiriha. Prakamam kamadi prakata patapati vyati karehi. 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 Kalепатва канехам тибагабит върнопагане. Kalепатва ханехам тибагабит върнопагане. Kalепатва ханехам тибагабит върнопагане. Kurutvam putkaranavati svetatva mana itaha. Kurutvam putkaranavati svetatva mana itaha. Kurutvam putkaranavati svetatva mana itaha. O mind. O mind, call out to the Vaishnavas, the protectors of the path of Shri Krishna, the killer of the demon Baka, the killer of Bakasura. They will protect you from the hands of those assembled aggressors on the open road of the material life. So there are assembled aggressors on the road of the life, of the material life. Anger and many others things. which can be from which can be from us, which can be from others, which can be just some situations which happen. And he says they are binding um, my neck with torturous, dreadful ropes of wicked deeds. They are killing me, says Srila Raghunath Goswami. So please, O mind, loudly call out to the Vaishnavas, the protectors of the path of Sri Krishna, the killer of Baka, the killer of Bakasura. Those Vaishnavas, they will surely protect you from their hands. So, in this mood, let's finish this trial to glorify Krishna. And and this trial to glorify actually the divine couple, Shrimati Radhika and Shri Krishna. Um, so, in this mood of verse 5 of Srila Sheshaman Shiksha, Srila Raghunath Goswami, instructions to the mind from Srila Raghunath Goswami. I can say that actually all the Vaishnavas, all of you who are Vaishnavas and who are devotees, you are all my gurus. I pay obeisance to you. Dandavat pranam, vanchkalpatarupscha, kripasnukupevcha, patina pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And if I try to say something on some Vedic literature, on some book or poem from the Vedic literature, then you should know I'm not trying to instruct anybody. I'm not qualified in these things, and I'm not trying to instruct anybody. I'm just trying to understand it. Of course, one have to try to understand the Vedic literature under the guidance of teachers, under the guidance of Diksha Gurus, of Diksha Guru and Shiksha Gurus. Yes, and all of you who are Vaishnavas, who are devotees, you're all my gurus. Yes. So we see this verse 5 of Srila Raghunathas of Manakashiksha Srila Raghunathas Goswami is very important because we see how we cannot try to, for example, just yes, we cannot try to go on the path of Krishna consciousness, of Bhakti Yoga, just alone. We need association with the Vaishnavas, especially Vaishnavas who are protectors of the path of Bhakti Yoga, as said in verse 5 of Manakashiksha of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Of course, the best is association with the Guru, with the Diksha Guru and Shiksha Gurus. but also association with the other devotees. Yes, so let's come to an end. Thank you so much for your association. Thank you so much for your thank you so much.
Namaste Narasimha. Namaste Narasimha. Namaste Narasimha. Namaste Narasimha.
Du kannst telefonieren, wenn du willst. Ich bin schon am Ende.
Namaste Narasimha.
Sorry, just a moment.
Namaste Narasimhaya Praladaladaine Hiranyakashipurvaksha Shiratankanakalaye Iton Rishiho Paraton Rishiho Yato Yato Yamitaton Rishiho Bahir Nishiho Hridayin Rishiho Rishim Hamadi Sharanya Prabhade
Tava Karakamalavare
Nakama Putashika Talita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa
Keshavadrita
Harirupa Jagadishare Jaya Jagadishare Jaya Jagadishare Jaya Jagadishare Jaya Jagadishare
Shri Nishimha Janri Shimha Jaya Janri Shimha De Prakladesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nishimha Janri Shimha Jaya Janri Shimha De Prakladesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nishimha Janri Shimha Jaya Janri Shimha De Prakladesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nishimha Janri Shimha Jaya Janri Shimha De Prakladesha Jaya Bhakta Mukha Padma Bringa
Jaya Nrishimhade Jaya Nrishimhadev Jaya Nrishimhadev Jaya Nrishimhadev Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadra Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Goranitai, Jaya Shri Shri Gornitai, Jaya Radha, Radha Madhava, Radha Gopinath, Radha Shyam, Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Madhava Radha Gopinath Radha Shyam Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jai Gurudev Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much for your attention. Hare Krishna.